Good morning, students. Welcome to the class of hydraulics. I am Srimati V.V. Ramalakshmi, Senior Lecturer in Civil Engineering from Government Polytechnic, Vikarabad. And we are dealing with the subject of hydraulics. The subject code is 18C 404C. And today's topic is going to be fluid pressure measurement. So already in the previous class, I had just given you the introduction about the fluid measurement and the different types of pressures. That means the atmospheric pressure and absolute pressure and their relationships. So today's subtopic is going to be problems on the types of pressures, and we are going to discuss about pressure measuring devices, that is manometers. The duration of the class is going to be 50 minutes, and I shall do the teaching with the help of some sketches and photographs. So students, be alert and get ready for listening the topics. So the objectives of the class are going to be: on the completion of this topic, you would be able to convert pressure head of one liquid to another liquid. Then the second thing what you will be able to do is solve simple problems on intensity of pressure and solve simple problems on absolute, gauge and vacuum pressures. So all these things actually we have discussed in the previous session, but now the application of that, and furthermore we are going to do solve some more problems so that you will be able to solve any type of problem or any variety of problem in this area of fluid pressure measurement. So let us go into the recap. So in the previous class, in the previous session, we have learnt about the pressure, then the intensity of pressure, various units for the intensity of pressure, pressure head, then atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure, then coming to the vacuum pressure, that is the negative pressure. Then the relationship between all these above pressures. So all these topics I have discussed in the introduction part in the previous class. So let us move further into this topic and see about pressure in a more elaborate way. So let us start with the problems. So we know that the relationship between atmospheric pressure, absolute pressure and gauge pressure is absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. So again, absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure minus the vacuum pressure, because you get a minus sign because of the negative pressure which is called the vacuum pressure. So now students, then the intensity of pressure we had seen P is equal to WH. That is why on the surface you have zero pressure, because the depth of water will be not be there, and as you go down to the bottom, and that means as the depth is increasing, the pressure is going to be increased. So we have seen in the case with an example of a tank which has got a hole at the top and hole at the bottom. So which hole is the water is going to move more fastly. So in that sketch you have visualized how and why things are happening like that, because the bottom hole will have the entire pressure, entire depth. You then water will be coming out with more pressure at the bottom hole rather than the top hole, because there the depth of water is not available. So it is evident that as you go down, the pressure is going to increase. So, and again, the atmospheric pressure is given in different terms. So it is equivalent to 76 centimeters of Hg, that is mercury, and that is equivalent to 10.33 meters of water. So with the help of these, we are going to solve the problems. So take down the first problem. Calculate the intensity of pressure at a depth of 5 kilometers that in the Indian Ocean, if the specific gravity of the sea water is 1.025. So it has been asked to find out the pressure at a very great depth, that means 5 kilometers inside the Indian Ocean. Just imagine how much the pressure is going to be. So the pressure, and because it is in the ocean, the seawater is going to have a different specific gravity. Seawater has got more salts and minerals. That is why instead of 1, the specific gravity of the seawater is 1.025. So in the solution part, so the intensity of pressure is P is equal to WH. That means the specific weight of water into the depth, or this is a standard equation. So the intensity of pressure in any liquid is equal to the specific weight of that liquid into the depth up to which the liquid is standing. So when it comes to the specific weight, you have not been directly given the specific weight. So that is why you have to obtain the specific weight. So specific weight is equal to specific gravity into density. That means, so you have to convert the seawater into the normal water. So 1.025 multiplied by 9810, which is the specific the density of water. 9810, it's a standard value, kilonewtons per meter cube, into the depth. Because in the question it has been given to find out the depth, find out the intensity of pressure at a depth of 5 kilometers. So we have to convert kilometers into meters. So it comes to 5000 meters. So on substituting the entire thing in the equation, so you get a value of, so please calculate students, how much is the value? So you get a value of 50.276 into 10 to the power of 6 newtons per meter square. So this is a very heavy pressure because it is, the depth is very high, very much under the surface of the water. So now let us try to convert this pressure in our terms, that means in a lower unit. So here 50.276 into 10 to the power of 6. So that 10 to the power of 6 you can just bring it down because it is per meter square. So if we convert it to mm square, so if you divide the units, that means 1 meter contains 1000 mm, and when it comes to squaring it, 1000 into 1000, so 10 to the power of 3 into 10 to the power of 3 comes to 10 to the power of 6. So that 10 to the power of 6 and this 10 to the power of 6 gets cancelled. So you remain with 50.276 newtons per mm square. So that is why it is called 1 Newton per mm square is called 1 MPa, that is megapascal. So we have the result as 50.276 MPa. So here we have to note that while converting the specific gravity into the specific weight, so here we have taken the specific weight of water as 98 to 10 newtons per meter cube, which is a standard value. So this type of questions you can get for 1 to 3 marks in your exams. So let us move to the next problem, students. So second question, convert the intensity of pressure of 103 kilonewtons per meter square into A bit pressure head of water. Next B bit is pressure head of mercury. So two terms have been given into, we have to convert this intensity into two different ways. So based on the specific weight or specific gravity of that particular liquid, it is going to vary. So in the solution part, let us just write down the given data. It is given that the intensity is 103 kilonewtons per meter square. So first bit is A bit, P is equal to WH. So now you want the head of water. So H is equal to P by W. So now try to substitute. H is 103 kilonewtons per meter square. So in kilonewtons, try to convert it into newtons. So multiply it with 1000. And the specific weight of water, when you are converting into pressure head of water, you have to apply specific weight of water. That means 9810. So have you done? Yes. Let us see the result. On substituting, the pressure head of water is equal to intensity of pressure by specific weight of water, that is 103 into 10 to the power of 3 by 1000 into 9.81. So you get a value of, try to calculate, students. So have you done? This person, the first bench? Okay, so what's your answer? 10.499 meters of water is the answer, right? So did all of you get the answer, students? Right. Shall we proceed? Next, try to convert it into equivalent pressure of mercury. So again, the pressure head of water is equal to intensity of pressure by, when you want to convert it into equivalent of mercury, you have to take the specific weight of mercury. So specific weight of mercury is 13.6, and now you have to apply, because finally you are trying to convert it into pressure head. So into by 1000 into 9.81. So because it's a heavy liquid, mercury is a heavy liquid, you are getting a value of 0.77 meters of mercury. So because it is heavier, you can, with this much, that means 77 centimeters of mercury only is capable of creating a pressure of 103 kilonewtons per meter square. Just imagine how much pressure it is going to develop. So this way we are going to convert the intensity of pressure into head of equivalent head of water or head of mercury. So now next problem is convert a pressure head of 8 meters of oil of specific gravity 0.92 into pressure head of meters and carbon tetrachloride is CCl4 of specific gravity 1.6. So now students, write down the given data. So the given data is specific gravity of the oil is 0.92. That let us take the oil as S1, and then H1 is, it is standing to a height of 8 meters, so H1 is 8 meters. Then coming to CCl4, that is carbon tetrachloride, the specific gravity is S2 is 1.6, and then the height is how much, that is what we are supposed to find out. So we have the equation when both these are going to create the same amount of pressure. So now let us just compare. S1, we have an equation. The S1 H1 is equal to S2 H2, because both of them are going to exert the same pressure, equal amount of pressure. So what is the column? Based on their specific gravities, the column height is going to be raised. So H2 is equal to S1 H1 by S2. So let us substitute the values taken. That means given in the problem 0.92 into 8 by 1.6. So what is the answer, students? Have you all got? Have you all done? A simple calculation. So you get a value of 4.6 meters of CCl force. So this is in terms of the carbon tetrachloride, the head of water. So that much pressure, to create this much of pressure, equivalent column of CCl4 is 4.6 meters. So that is how we have to visualize and think about this problem. Now convert the following into absolute pressure. So a vacuum pressure of 4.5 meters of oil water and vacuum pressure of 58 kilonewtons per meter square, then pressure of 15 meters of water, and let us see the solution. So one by one, let us try to convert and give the absolute pressures. So students, get ready to calculate. So the data given is vacuum pressure of 4.5 meters of water. So vacuum means it's a negative pressure. So we have the standard equation relationship between all these is absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure minus vacuum pressure. So this minus is missing here. So put a minus here. Then so 10.33 is the atmospheric pressure in terms of meters of water. So vacuum pressure is 4.5. So now you get a value of 5.83 meters of water. Now take out the next problem. So let us tackle the next problem. We have a vacuum pressure of 58 kilonewtons per meter square. So intensity of pressure is equal to, here P is equal to WH. So the W means that is the specific weight of water is 9.81, and then you have the density, you have the height of water. In terms of head of water, the pressure is H is 10.33 meters. So multiply P is equal to WH. So you will get a value of 101.33 kilonewtons per meter square. Now let us try to find out the absolute pressure. So absolute is equal to atmospheric minus vacuum pressure. So try to substitute. You have 101.33. Here you worked out the intensity of the atmospheric pressure minus the given vacuum pressure, that is 43.33 kilonewtons per meter square. So this is the pressure. This here square is missing, students. Just put a 2 here. Then it will be sufficient. So next, the third problem is pressure of 15 meters of water. So the absolute pressure relationship is absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. So what is the atmospheric pressure as calculated now? 101.33 plus what is the gauge pressure? It is 15 meters of water. So now we have to apply the atmospheric pressure in terms of head of water. So let us substitute 10.33, and now the gauge pressure is for which we want the absolute pressure is given as in the question 15 meters of water. So 10.33 plus 15, you have the result as, done students? Yes, 25.33 meters of water. So this way we have very simple calculation, but with little bit of alertness you have to do it. Even simple things sometimes we try to make it complicated and get confused. So when the concept is clear, such a situation will not arise. So be confident and be clear about the concepts. So next, let us move into the next problem. A rectangular tank 14.2 meters long and 1.5 meters wide contains water up to a depth of 2 meters Find the intensity of pressure on the base of tank and total pressure on the side. So this here, you just imagine a 14.2 meter long tank and draw the figure. So 1.5 meters wide and the depth is 2 meters. So what is the pressure which the liquid standing is going to make at the base, and what is the pressure which it is going to make to the sides? So you have the base and the sides both are simultaneously getting subjected to pressure. So let us see and work out what are the pressures. So the depth D is 2 meters, B is 1.5 meters and length is 14.2 meters. So the intensity of pressure on the base small p is equal to WH is 9810 into 2. So the specific weight is 9810 into the depth of water is 2 meter. So you get a value of 19.62 kilonewtons per meter square. So here otherwise you can write it in terms of equivalent in Newton per meter square. So kilo is converted into newtons. So kilonewtons. So multiply this with 1000, you will get it in in newtons per meter square. So 196.20. That means 19,620 is the intensity. So much of weight per meter square is coming at the base because the entire pressure is going to come and fall on the base. That is why you require a thick base for withstanding all these pressures for the water tank. Now, what is the average pressure on the side? So coming to the average pressure, so as we all know, the pressure at the top is 0 and it is increasing to WH at the bottom. So it's a straight line variation, that means a linear variation. So when it comes to taking the average pressure, so 0 plus WH by 2. So you will have WH by 2 is the average pressure. So now total pressure on the side is equal to the average pressure into the area of the side, because this pressure is going to fall on the complete side of the tank. So we have the average pressure WH by 2, and on what area is it going to fall? To one side, that means the depth and the width, not the length side, because on the shorter side you are going to take the pressure. So 19.62 by 2 is the average pressure into this area of the side is the depth is 2 meters, width is 1.5 meters. So 1.5 into 2, 3 by 2, that is 1.5 multiplied by 19.62. So do this calculation, students. Done? What is your answer? Okay, it is. All of you got the same answer? Anyone who did not get the same answer? Yes. Okay, all of you got it? So let us proceed. So the answer is 29.43 kilonewtons. Now let us go into pressure measuring devices, that is simple manometers. That means, so what are these manometers? You must have seen glass tubes in your chemistry lab, thin glass tubes of very small diameter. So used to these are used to measure the pressure at a point in the liquid contained in a pipe or a vessel. So here look at the classification of the manometers. So simple manometers, piezometer, U-tube manometer and single column manometer. So this is the classification or the tree diagram of the simple manometers. So coming to the differential manometer, What is it? As the name is indicated, these are means to measure the difference between two points. Then different types of differential manometers. So you have U-tube means it is in the shape of the letter U. So if it is inverted, that means the reverse U. So U-tube differential manometer, then inverted U-tube manometer, and then the third variety is micro manometer. So here let us see into one by one of these manometers. So look here, first type of manometer is a piezometer. So piezometer is nothing but it's a simple glass tube which is open at both ends, and one end of the tube will be connected to the point where the pressure is to be measured, and the other end is open to the atmosphere. A piezometer is a simple device which is used for finding the pressures. So, how much ever is the column of the liquid rising into the glass tube, so that much will be the head of the liquid. So, that much is the pressure in terms of head of the liquid. So, look here. So, here you have the pipe which is circular in shape, and one place you will have a break, and then you will insert the piezometer. This is the glass tube. Okay, it has to be inserted very carefully. Okay, because it's a very delicate instrument. So the glass tube, so when it is connected, the pressure here is going to travel into the glass tube and rise into the tube. So that much will be the pressure. So now let us look how the piezometer pressure is being calculated. So the height up to which the liquid rises in the piezometric tube directly indicates the pressure head at that point. So this is what is the piezometer. Very simple equipment. So directly you will get the pressure head. So next, you have some limitations for the use of this piezometric tube. So it is used for finding moderate, low, positive pressures. So this is restricted. Use is restricted because for negative pressures you just cannot join it, and it cannot suck because negative pressure is going to suck the liquid. So this way the piezometer may not be effective in measuring the pressure. Then it can't be used to find the negative pressure or the vacuum pressure, as I told you, because suction is not possible from the atmosphere. It can be used to find high positive pressures. So when you want to find a pressure, what you will try to do is try to keep a manometer or a piezometer connected to the pump. So that way we can find out the high positive pressure. Then the pressure measuring instrument by a piezometer. So how are we going to record? The pressure head at A indicated by the height of the liquid raised is HA in the tube above that point, which can read on the scale attached to it. So therefore the pressure given at a point A is P is equal to PA is equal to WHA, where W is equal to specific weight of the liquid. Then HA is equal to height of the liquid rise in the tube above the point A. So here this is the point A, and this is the height of the liquid HA. So this is the figure associated with this concept. So I have been explaining with the help of this figure. So, P is equal to small w into HA. That is the height of the liquid which has risen into the tube above the center of the pipeline. So it's a very simple equipment Then coming to the YouTube manometer, so it is used to find high pressures and also negative pressure at a particular point in a pipeline. Sorry, the positive pressure. Either the positive pressure or sometimes you may have a negative pressure also developed. Usually for siphon pipes or pipelines in the hilly areas, you can get some that separation effect, which is called as negative pressure or suction pressure. So look here. So this is the YouTube manometer because the glass tube has been bent into the letter U. It is called a YouTube manometer. So this is the pipeline, and then HA is the HA meters, H into small a, H to the suffix small a, meters of water of pressure is existing inside the pipe, and then this is liquid containing this pipe is containing a liquid which is having a specific gravity S1, and then the manometric liquid is having a specific gravity of S2. So here we have to take always the left hand junction, that means the layer of between the mercury and this liquid is taken as the datum, and then let us check the rise of the pressure. So here you have H1 liquid, here S2 liquid. So H1 S1 H1 is equal to S2 H2. So let us try to find out the pressure. Then coming to the next topic, the pressure measurement by a simple YouTube manometer. So consider a YouTube manometer connected to a pipe at point A. The light pressure of the liquid in the pipe flow, the liquid, the heavy liquid in the left thumb of the manometer to move downwards. So you have, because it is of the U shape, when pressure is increased in the uh, when there is more pressure in this pipe, what it will do is this liquid in this pipeline is going to apply pressure, and so that this liquid in the other tube is going to rise, but both these pressures are going to be the same. So S1 H1 is equal to H2 H2. So students, the surface of the contact between the heavy liquid and in manometer and flowing liquid in the pipe is known as the common surface, which is known as datum, denoted by the line XX as seen in the figure. So where you should take the datum depends upon the line or the layer of the liquid. Usually in the left hand side you take the x-axis horizontally, and then both the pressures above the datum line on either limbs are equated. So that is how we try to solve the problems. So this is one type of manometer. So HA meters, this is H1, this is H2, and again S2, S1. So here small h is equal to height of liquid in the left limb x above the x axis. So this is H1. Then H2 is height of the liquid, height of the heavy liquid in the right limb above the XX. Then HA is equal to pressure head in pipe at point A. Then coming over to the, so this is the point here, that means the center of the pipe. Then coming to the S1 is the specific gravity of liquid in the pipe. Then specific gravity of heavy liquid in the manometers, that is the manometric liquid which is mercury. So in any pipe, mostly the manometric liquid is always a heavy liquid which is mercury. So there is no other liquid equivalent in weight to the mercury. So that is why we use that mercury, we use that liquid. It is costly also. So just imagine in the laboratories we have our manometers for pressure measuring. So when we do experiments, we should be careful that due to heavy pressure the mercury does not come out and it is taken care, because I think all of you are aware that mercury eats away gold, and particularly when you're working with this, you should not put any gold items in your hands. So remove all the rings and other things, because if the mercury spills, the articles are going to be eaten away. So now S1 is light liquid, S2 is heavy liquid. So now, as per the Pascal's law, the pressure in the left limb is and the pressure in the right limb are at the common surface XX. So the total head in the left limb is HA is the head due to the head of water inside the pipeline, plus S1 H1 due to the height of the column in above the datum line. So since the pressure increases as we proceed downwards from A to XX, so the total pressure in the right limb is equal to S2 H2. So now equating the above pressures, above equations, HA is equal to S1 H1 is equal to S2 H2. Then S2 H2 is equal to, sorry, HA is equal to, now try to bring this term to the other side, S2 H2 minus S1 H1. So the intensity of pressure inside the pipeline, PA is going to be P is equal to WHA. Then specific weight of the liquid in pipe. So that is given. So now the points to be remembered in manometers are: the liquid used as manometric liquid should have high specific weight and low vapor pressure. So these both qualities are satisfied by mercury. That is why mercury is the most commonly used manometric liquid. Then mercury possesses high specific weight and low vapor pressure. That's why mercury is used as the manometric liquid. Then whenever whatever may be the manometric liquid and whatever may be the liquid flowing through the pipe, all the pressures heads shall be expressed in terms of base liquid, that is water. Now the lowest mercury level shall be considered as the datum line. At 2 points in the manometer in a continuous stream which are at the same level, the total pressure in the limb, the total pressure in the left limb is equal to the total pressure in the right limb. So how is this going to happen? So measure of negative pressure. So if you have negative pressure, how are we going to measure it? With the help of a U-tube manometer. So here S1 is the specific gravity of the liquid inside the pipe, and when we connect this U-tube to the pipe, some amount of the liquid is going to come out, and this pressure which is contained inside the pipe, the same pressure is going to come over here and try to push this mercury column into the next U-tube. So now let us take the datum as the contact surface between the in the left and right limbs. So because this is standstill, you have the contact surface as XX. So total pressure in the left limb. So here it is HA plus S1H1 plus S2H2 meters of water. So now try, when we do numerical problems, we are going to substitute it. So total pressure head in the right limb. So is there any pressure head in the right limb? No pressure head because there is no liquid at all. It has stopped at the this level. So now students, so equate it to the 0 because you don't have any pressure on the right hand side. So now try to find out. So H1, so this HA will be, take all this to the right hand side. So HA is equal to minus of S1H1 plus S2H2 meters of water. So pressure at A is equal to small w into HA. So that is how we try to calculate the pressure inside a U-tube manometer. So when you get numerical problems to solve, this way you can tackle, or then depending upon the given figure, you have to just make out the datum and equalize the pressures in the left limb and the right limb. So the next item is single column micro manometer. So here, look here, this is, you have a liquid of specific gravity S1 in this left hand pipe, in this pipeline, and a micromanometer is a device in which you have a thin pipe and then the area of the pipe is going to be increased. So as the area is getting increased, this pressure is again, you have a U-tube manometer continued. So this pressure is going to move the liquid column into the next tube, then which contains the manometric liquid of specific gravity S2. So look here, it is a modified column of a U-tube manometer in which shallow reservoir having a large cross-sectional area, almost about 100 times as compared to the area of the tube. See, the width is very high when compared to the size of the tube. So this way, as compared to the area of the tube, is introduced into one limb of the manometer. It can be the right limb or the left limb. So the pipe is connected to such a device, so which is called the micro manometer. So you can measure the pressure very accurately with this help of the micro manometer. So summary of this class is, in this session we have learnt about conversion of the pressure heads from one liquid to another liquid, then calculation of the absolute pressures from the given gauge pressures, then calculation of absolute pressure from the given vacuum pressure, then calculation of pressures on the walls of a tank. Then we have seen about various types of simple and differential manometers. Then we have seen the pressure measurement by a piezometer, then by a U-tube manometer. And now let us see a few questions of the quiz. So get ready students to face the quiz. So atmospheric pressure is measured by using, the first option is thermometer, barometer, piezometer, and then manometer. So what is the correct answer, students? So atmospheric pressure is measured. So it is a barometer. So we have seen atmospheric pressure. Yesterday's class we have discussed about that. Meter is a barometer in which 76 grams, 76 centimeters of HD is equivalent. Next, absolute pressure at absolute pressure at a point is measured by using ordinary barometer, aneroid barometer, pitted tube and manometer. So what is the right answer? So it is aneroid barometer. Now intensity of pressure equivalent to 10.33 meters of water in newtons per mm square is 0.104, 0, 0.1014, 1.033, 101.4 and 76 mm. So the answer is 1. Sorry, 0.1014 newtons per mm square. So we have seen this while we discussed about the equivalent pressures of water. Now convert a pressure head of 27.72 of water meters of water into head of mercury. So P is equal to so S1H1 is equal to S2H2. That equation you use and try to substitute. So 27.2. So it is 27.2 meters of water. So when it comes to mercury, you will have it very small because it is 13.6. So 27.2 divided by 13.6, you get a pressure head of 2 meters. So this is the right answer, the last one. So next, the device used to measure the pressure at a point in a liquid is piezometer, differential U-tube manometer, then inverted U-tube manometer and two piezometer manometer. So what is the right answer, students? So it is piezometer. Next, the device is that is not suitable or for measuring high positive pressures is differential manometer, differential U-tube, simple U-tube, then single column manometer and piezometer. So here the answer is simple U-tube manometer. A U-tube, a U-shaped glass tube which is whose one end is connected to a gauge point and the other end remains open to the atmosphere is called a piezometer, differential U-tube manometer, single column manometer, U-tube manometer. So the answer is U-tube manometer. So frequently asked questions in this chapter are convert the following gauge pressures into absolute pressures. 50 centimeters of mercury, 50 kilonewtons per meter square, 0.02 newtons per mm square, 5 kg per centimeter square. So you have to do all these conversions, 5 meters of water. Then convert vacuum pressure into absolute pressure, 26 centimeters of mercury. So take down all these questions, students, and try to solve as homework problems. So rectangular tank of plate. So take down this problem also. Then find out the pressure on the longer side and the shorter side. On the base also. Then frequently asked questions are the different types of pressure measuring devices, what's a piezometer, what are the limitations, and explain the working of a U-tube manometer. So with all these discussions,